Hi, my name is Rumbi. I am a master's student here at Lund University and I am studying environmental management and policy. Today I will take you on a tour of Lund University. Lund University's main building was built in 1882 and was designed by Helge Svettervall, a famous Swedish architect who helped renovate the cathedral and plan the Swedish Parliament building in Stockholm. Today the building hosts many ceremonial functions such as graduation, or royal visits from the King and Queen of Sweden, or state visits such as from the Italian president. Lund University was founded in 1666, and though there were initially 4 faculties, today there are 9. Built in 1883, Palestra used to house a fencing hall that was used at a time when students were actually required to take fencing classes at Lund University. Today, however, it hosts music practice rooms for student organizations and one of the largest lecture halls that is actually often used for conferences. This is the AF building, the hub of student life, where most student unions and organizations have their offices. There's also a theater, cafe, the student newspaper, student radio, and lots of study space. Built in 1851, the building's architect was H.J. Stormberry, who went on to become the city architect for the city of Gothenburg. The original idea behind this building was that all members of the academic society could be in the building at once. Of course, over time that has changed, but recent renovations are making the space even more useful for students. Welcome to Lundegård, the historic heart of our university. In the 18th century, the area was surrounded by 3-meter-high walls that protected the university area from the pigs and hens that ranged the city. In the early 19th century, that wall was torn down and Lundegård was opened up as a public park. Skåne, the southern area of Sweden where Lund is located, was part of Denmark longer than it has been part of Sweden. Nothing demonstrates this dual history more than this building here, known as Kungshuset, or the King's House. Completed in 1584, it is the oldest building on campus and originally served as the residence of the King of Denmark. In the late 17th century, the building was donated to the university and had served as the main building for the university until 1882. The cathedral was built in 1145 and is visited annually by 700,000 people. It's actually responsible for what we call the academic quarter. So back in the day, not a lot of students had clocks, so when they would hear the bells ringing, they knew they had 15 minutes to get to class, and that's actually a tradition that lives on today. Juridicum houses the Faculty of Law. The law library actually has the largest collection of Swedish and foreign law literature in the Nordic countries, with over 5,000 shelf meters of books. The International Institute for Industrial Environmental Economics was founded in 1994. It is here that you can find our master's program in environmental management and policy. Sweden is one of the world's leaders in sustainability and fighting climate change. As a student, you will notice that sustainability is woven into the fabric of the university, helping us build a foundation for a greater future. Gamla Kyrkan means the old surgery. That's because this building and the ones surrounding it used to be part of the old hospital that was built in 1868 by architect Helge Svettervall. Today it houses the Faculty of Social Sciences. In this part of campus, you'll also find the School of Social Work, the main social science library, and Edeon, which houses a cafe, study spaces, and computer labs. Students in this part of campus study psychology, sociology, political science, sociology of law, gender studies, global studies, and much more. The University Library, also known as UB, was built in 1907 and is the main library of Lund University. It also functions as a national reference library, meaning that it is responsible for keeping a historical record of all materials published in Swedish in the country. While students are welcome to study in or borrow books from any of the campus's 26 libraries or the Lund City Libraries, there is a library for each faculty and a librarian for every program who is aware of all your courses and current projects and is there to help you with your study or research. Completed in 2004, using modern architecture to combine historical buildings from the 1930s, the Center for Languages and Literature houses teaching rooms, a cafe, and a library for the humanities at Lund University. Most faculties have a cafe where you can buy lunch or warm up your own. Built in 2014, Lux houses the Humanities faculty and Theology faculty, as well as the Center for Cultural Studies, Philosophy, Archaeology, and History. The Humanities Lab, which hosts international research targeting communication, culture, and other interdisciplinary studies, is also housed here. Across the street from Lux, you will find Geocentrium, which houses GIS, human ecology, and human geography. The physics department is one of the largest in Lund University with over 350 staff members. The sprawling complex's original building was built in 1950 and has had several additions since then. The Nano Center is the newest addition to the physics complex. Since nanotechnology deals with very small particles, this building has an inbuilt suspension system to help it resist vibration. As a fun fact, the research equipment in this building is actually more expensive than the physical building itself. In this area of campus, you will also find the astronomy house with the observatory that was converted from the old water tower. While the reflecting telescope and heliostat inside are now used mainly for historic and educational purposes, major research is conducted in the astronomy department's modern and sophisticated facilities about topics such as planet formation, astronomy, and galactic archaeology. To the left of the Astronomy House, you will find Medics Row and the Biomedical Center, which house the Faculty of Medicine. A new facility called Forum Medicum is currently under construction and will open in 2023. Many of the facilities of the Faculty of Medicine are almost wall-to-wall with the Skåne University Hospital in Lund, which makes the distance between the clinics and the laboratories short, both physically and in thought. Here you can see the brand new Linklink, or the link linking Lund. The tram began operation in December 2020 and carries up to 40,000 passengers a day. It starts at Lund Central Station and makes stops at the University Hospital, here at LTH, Edeon, and the research centers Max 4 and ESS. From end to end, the ride takes just 15 minutes. Behind the tram stop, you will find the Biology and Ecology buildings. Completed in the early 2010s, they were designed specifically with open spaces to hold and gather around academic conversation. The idea here is that dialogue within the hallways, in the library, or around the coffee table is just as important as formal teaching within the lecture rooms or laboratories. At the northern tip of campus, you will find the Chemistry Center, which houses the departments of Chemistry, Chemical Engineering, and Food Technology and Nutrition. It is the largest research and education center for chemistry in all of Scandinavia. The complex consists of 4 connecting buildings built in the 1960s. They cover 40,000 square meters, and 2 of them were recently renovated in the last decade. Lund's Tekniska Högskolan, also known as LTH or the Faculty of Engineering, sprawls all around the central lake. Built in the 1960s when the Swedish government had a surge of interest in engineering and technology, this area hosts various departments: the Mathematics Department, Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering, Civil Engineering, and Architecture. Built in 1994, this building is home to the Engineering Students Union, the International Office for LTH, and a very popular restaurant called Mororten and Pisken, which is open for lunches and special event bookings. Here in the center of LTH, we have the Huan Huan, or creatively named Lake. Not only is it a beautiful part of the engineering area, but every year the student guilds hold competitions to see who can build the best student raft to make it across the lake, before they all inevitably sink to the bottom. It's a great sight to see. The Ingvar Comprad Design Center is the most recent addition to LTH. You might recognize the name because it's named after the founder of Ikea and was constructed using a donation from the Ikea Foundation. Today, it represents some of the most modern architecture on campus, and fittingly, it houses the Industrial Design Department as well as a popular restaurant and cafe. Completed in 1998, the School of Economics and Management, also called LUSEM, is on the eastern edge of campus and is adjacent to both LTH and Edeon. The school holds a Triple Crown accreditation, ranking it among the top 1% of business schools worldwide. Built in 1983, Edeon Science Park is modeled after Silicon Valley in the US. It is a place for innovative, research-based companies to operate and also has its own startup incubator. Edeon frequently hosts events for networking, innovation workshops, and various ways for students to get involved. There have been botanical gardens in Lund since the late 17th century. Planting began in this area in 1865, and today there's over 7,000 species spread over 8 hectares. These gardens serve as a peaceful park and are a favorite place for students to hang out or study on sunny days. The student nations make up the heart of student life in Lund. Here behind me you can see Lund's nation, one of the 13 student nations that are all named after various Swedish cities and regions. The purpose in creating the nations hundreds of years ago was so that students could meet other students from their home regions. Today, it doesn't matter where you're from to join. If you join one nation, you can attend any events at all the other nations. The nations also provide student-priced lunches, dinners, pubs, clubs, baking nights, film nights, sports activities, as well as many other activities. They're entirely run by students, and they also offer housing. We hope you've enjoyed this tour of our campus and that we get to see you here soon.